if a campaign has previously been successful, but due to poor bid management, oh goodness, there's some reason why you need to be really, really careful with the way that you're managing bids. It hasn't been performing or getting any impressions for months, 6 to 12 months. Is it worth keeping the campaign? That's a really good question. So my initial answer would be, yes, it is worth keeping the campaign. But my question would be, can we get it to perform at the level of that it used to? And there is a such thing as campaign history, campaigns that have been running a really, really long time, even if they don't have the best structure. I lovingly refer to these as like Franken campaigns. You know those campaigns in your account. They have way too many keywords. They have way too many products lumped in together. There's a million different ad groups. Maybe it's the old auto campaign. You kind of hate that it works, but it totally does work. And so in those cases, you want to be really, really careful with how you're optimizing those, because if that's where you're getting your ad performance and you do something that screws it up, you're going to screw up your ad performance. You just need to be aware of that when you're going through optimizations. But long story short is, I would say, yes, it is worth keeping this campaign. Now, what would I do? I would want to go back. So if the campaign has previously been successful and there was optimizations that made it unsuccessful, i.e. it's not getting any impressions, what were the settings before when it was getting impressions, and can we get it to do that again? So how would you do this? I would go through and I would just look at where it used to be. Were there negatives that we added? What did we do to the bids? How far did we bring them down? Can we test putting things back to where they was? If we added a negative keyword, can we test removing it? If we lower the bid significantly, can we test increasing it? And then what I would be looking for is the performance good after those optimizations? Now, there's two ways you can go about it. One, you could just like do a complete reset, just say like, hey, given what happened in the past, I'm gonna get rid of those negative keywords completely. I'm going to put the bids all the way back up to where they were. The thing with that, you can either like completely go like full on reset, or what you might do is maybe there was a reason that those bid optimizations happened. Maybe the performance, maybe the ACoS started to get a little bit high and it wasn't where you wanted it to be, and there was a reason why you added, where you lowered it. If that is the case, then I might test sort of increasing it. So an example would be if the bids used to be $1 and now they're at 30 cents, and that's why you can't get it. Maybe I don't want to go all the way up to $1, but maybe I would just either start an incremental increase. So like, I'm gonna increase it 10 cents every couple days and see like where that sweet spot is for impressions. Or you might say like, well, what's half? Just kind of like give it a middle ground instead of going like super aggressive. But if it was just like somebody randomly decreased it because they didn't like the way the campaign was structured, not necessarily because it had poor performance, in that case, I might be a little bit more aggressive with my bid optimization. So hopefully that was helpful. I would say it is worth testing. I always say in these cases, worst case scenario, you figure out, oh, it doesn't perform the way it used to. I kind of lost the history. Okay, but you kind of end up back at square one where you are currently. So I think it makes sense to test. I always like to think of like worst case scenario, I'm going to find out that, yeah, no, it's not worth testing. Okay, then I'm already back to where I am today. You shouldn't hurt yourself too much, especially if you're being intentional about your optimization.